Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakotisamaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Rambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रीमेधा दक्षिणामूर्तिस्वामिने नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्कपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम। So namaste,
Namaste, Guruji.
namaste, namaste everyone.
Namaste Guruji, pranam.
Pranam.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om, Hari Om. So I hope
Namaste,
in
Guruji.
2 weeks' time you have not forgot.
Pranam, Guruji. Pranam.
Pranam, namaste. So because sometimes this gap becomes some sort of a difficult thing again to start again, but it was not too long a gap. So anyhow,
Inertia.
so I think perhaps some of you might have revised our last class so that you know from where we have to start. Anyhow, so we are on the 15th mantra of the 9th chapter. Jnana yagyena chapyanye yajanto mamupasate ekatvena pritatvena bahuda vishwato mukham. So we are discussing the verse beginning from the 12th verse up to the 19th verse of the 9th chapter, where Bhagavan Krishna is talking about samsara nivritti upaya, the means of attaining freedom from samsara. Otherwise, we can say moksha upaya. And the means that is given by the Lord here is bhakti. Bhakti alone is a solution to samsara nivritti. But when we say bhakti is the means of liberation, we should be very careful in understanding. Here the word bhakti does not refer to any particular sadhana, but it refers to a range of sadhanas consisting of 3 levels, as we saw. We will be seeing these levels of bhakti very elaborately in the 12th chapter. But here we should note it as an important point that when bhakti is presented as a means of liberation, it consists of 3 levels of sadhanas. What are those 3 levels? Karma lakshana bhakti, upasana lakshana bhakti, and jnana lakshana bhakti. These are the 3 levels. In fact, broadly, you can correlate them to grihasthashrama, vanaprastha and sannyasa ashrama. So the first stage of bhakti is in the form of karma yoga, which will purify the mind. And then one has to graduate to the upasana lakshana bhakti. Bhakti in the form of meditation, by which a person gets the integration of the mind. Chitta naischalyam, chitta ekagrata. And then only one has to necessarily go to the final stage, jnana lakshana bhakti, which is nothing but bhakti in the form of Vedanta Shravana Manana Nididhyasa. If Viveka Chudamani students, you can recall, I don't remember whether we covered this particular sloka, but there in Viveka Chudamani, Shankaracharya beautifully defines this bhakti. He says, Swaswarupa Anusandhanam Bhaktihi Ityabhidhiyate. So, Swaswarupa Anusandhanam means inquiry into one's own real self. So, the third and final level of bhakti is not in the form of puja, not in the form of parayanam, not in the form of social service. The final level of bhakti is in the form of inquiry. With the help of scriptures and Upanishads, I make an inquiry into the essential nature of God, essential nature of the Lord. And only when one goes through Karma Yoga plus Upasana Rupa Bhakti and Jnana Rupa Bhakti, that bhakti alone will lead to liberation. So it is not any one of them, but the total combination. That is a very important point we have to understand. We have to remember all the time. So bhakti divorced from knowledge can never give liberation, because all the Upanishads are uniformly insisting on the fact jnanat eva kaivalyam. In fact, Kaivalya Upanishad says, Sampashyan Brahma Paramam Yati Nanyena Hetuna. Purusha Suktam says, Na Anya Pantaf Vidyate Ayanaya. So, other than Jnanam, there is no method. But then we must understand you cannot straight away get into Jnanam without having necessary qualifications. Without MBBS, you cannot become a doctor. But you cannot just go and join MBBS. There are a lot of preparations required for you to get a seat for that MBBS course. And therefore, when we say bhakti is a means of liberation, we should understand that that bhakti, whose final stage is in the form of jnana yajna, that alone gives liberation. If you remember, in the 4th chapter, Krishna pointed out, Shreyan Dravya Mahad Yajnat Jnana yajñah parantapa sarvam karmakhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. So everything, the entire spiritual journey ends with jnana yajna. So all your other yajnas, pujas, all karmas that you do should culminate into inquiry, vichara, systematic study of the scriptures, especially the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita. And that is the subtlest form of bhakti. Therefore, what we are all going through now is a form of bhakti only. We must not have a narrow understanding of bhakti, that it is only bhakti means only puja, nama sankirtanam, homam, all that. That is also bhakti, no doubt. But ultimately, Vedanta Vichara is the highest form of bhakti, and that alone is the means for liberation. So what does it mean? Finally, we come to the equation karma plus upasanam plus jnanam or vichara is equal to or means for liberation. So this is one point. As I said, we will be studying very elaborately in the 12th chapter, where Krishna himself will talk about all these things. And in fact, that is why the 12th chapter is called what? Bhakti Yoga hai. So that's the first point. The second important point to be noted is, when we say bhakti is the means of liberation, certainly bhakti is directed towards the Lord, because where is the question of bhakti without an object of bhakti? Isn't it? Because whenever we talk of reverence, there has got to be an object of reverence. And this object of bhakti also gradually evolves as the bhakti evolves. So when I start my bhakti, my appreciation of the Lord, the object of devotion, is a very gross appreciation. Appreciation based upon certain form, certain name of the Lord. It is idol worship bhakti. But I should not get stuck there. My bhakti should evolve, the culmination of which will be the ideal form of bhakti. And it is that bhakti which is evolved into that form, it will lead to liberation. And this evolution of bhakti we discussed in the last class. In the initial level of bhakti, the object of devotion, God is Eka Rupa Ishwara. God is a person for me in human form, sitting, located in a place called Vaikunta or Kailasa, or even Goloka Vrindavanam, they say. In fact, I am told that the ISKCON people have a special place called Goloka Vrindavanam. There will be many cows there. And since it is Vrindavanam, Krishna also will be there, dance will be there. So their concept of God is the first level of bhakti. Personal God. And according to the scriptures, that is the grossest form of bhakti. And this bhakti should evolve. The Eka Rupa Bhakti, the personal God, should expand to become Aneka Rupa Ishwaraha. Otherwise, Vishwarupa Ishwaraha. Where the Lord is not located in one place. But everywhere I see around is Lord only, in everything, every Rupa, every Nama is only Lord. It is not restricted to names like Krishna, Devi, Shiva and all. Everywhere I see only Bhagavan. That is Aneka Rupa Ishwara. In fact, you must all, of course, know about Rudram, Chamakam and all that. They are all very, very important part of this whole process. Some of us may know chanting Rudram, but if you read if you understand the meanings, if you read the translation of Rudram, you will find it very interesting. The description of Rudra is so many different descriptions in the form of a tree, who is in the form of mud, who is in the form of green leaves, the one who is a dry leaf. Whatever ordinary materials are there in the whole world, everything is Lord Shiva. Namah Shushkaya cha Harityaya cha Namo Lopyaya Cholapyaya cha Nama Urmyaya cha Surmyaya cha Nama Parnyaya cha Parnashadhyaya cha Namopa Guramanaya cha Bhignate cha Ma Akkidate cha Prakkidate cha Namo Vakkirikebhyo Devanagum Hridayebhyo Namo Vichinakebhyo Namo Vichinvatkebhyo Nama Anirhatebhyo Nama Ami Vatkebhyah. Everything, Shushkyaya, dry leaf, Harityaya, green leaf. So, if you study the Rudram is that prayer which will actually help us to graduate from Eka Rupa Ishwara to Aneka Rupa Ishwara. And that is the stage where, and in fact, I would put it this way, that is the tool. Not only Rudram, Purusha Sukta. Same thing. So if you read the translation of Rudram, you will find that Shiva is Sarvam, Shivamayam Jagat. Therefore, Bhakti should evolve into Aneka Rupa Bhakti. Vishnu Sahasranamam, the 1,000 names of Bhagavan is what? Only different. We understand Ishvara in different forms, different names. And that is not enough. Again, further, I have to go and appreciate the Lord as one beyond the Eka Rupam and also Aneka Rupam. What can that be? Arupam. Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Avyayam, Tatar, Arasam, Nityam, Agandatvacha, Yat, Anadyantam, Mahatah, Paramam, Dhruvam, Nichayatan, Mrityor, Muktat, Pramuchyate. The mantra in Kathopanishad. So from all names and forms, we have to go to a stage where there is no name and form. And therefore, as the appreciation of God changes, the mode of bhakti also changes from karma to upasana to Vedanta vichara. This is the change in the mode of my expression of devotion. And not only the mode of devotion varies, the object of devotion, the Lord's nature also is vary. And the culmination of bhakti is nothing but the Lord in his formless nature is none other than me. And therefore, what is the culmination of bhakti? Aham brahmasmi iti jnanam. So, when we say bhakti gives liberation, means bhakti culminating in Advaita Jnanam gives liberation. That is how we have to understand. Now, if you ask, what is the proof of all these things? Where do you get all these ideas? If you ask, we have seen in the 7th chapter, Arto jignyasurartharthi jnani cha bharatarshabha tesham jnani nitya yuktah eka bhaktir visishyate. Remember, all these are very beautifully, Krishna builds up, or I would say, Veda Vyasa has built up very beautifully. So there, in the 7th chapter, while enumerating the bhaktas, Krishna says, the greatest bhakta is one who has gained the knowledge, Aham Brahmasmi. So this is the second point which we have to note. The mode of bhakti has 3 levels, karma plus upasana plus vichara hai. The object of bhakti also has got 3 levels, eka rupa, aneka rupa and arupa. And such a bhakti will give liberation. And this is what Krishna is conveying here in this verse number 15. If you have chosen God as your goal, Ishvara Prapti as your goal, then you need to understand not only the nature of that Lord, but also the means through which you can reach that goal. You need a clear roadmap, a guide, a tour itinerary. So he says, people worship me in many ways, as different from themselves, as identical with themselves, or as the multifarious one, which represent the 3 levels of bhakti. And Krishna says everyone has to go through all these 3 levels of bhakti if your goal in life is liberation. If your goal is not liberation, then nobody bothers. You can see TV serials, go to restaurants, do whatever you want to do. But if your goal is liberation, every moment of your life, everything that you do, everything you see around, you should be absorbed in that thought, in that goal only. Of course, to begin with, you may not relate to Arupa Ishvara. It does not matter. Start with Ekarupa Ishvara, no problem. Then when you are chanting Rudram, Chamakam, Vishnu Sahasranamam, Lalita Sahasranamam, all these things, understand the meanings. Why do we have so many slokas, so many, all these, stotrams, etc.? That question should arise. Then you will understand they are all meant to promote you from Ekarupa Ishvara to Aneka Rupa Ishvara. So you can go to Aneka Rupa Ishvara. But you say, no, that is also very difficult for me, because how can I see everything as Bhagavan, And that is what Krishna says. Anye ekatvena mam upasate. Some people seek and worship me ekatvena as non-dual ultimate Brahman. So here eka means arupa Ishvara. Sadeva saumya eka agra asid. Ekameva agre asid. Ekameva advitiyam. So arupa Ishvara. And what is the method they adopt? Jnana yagyena. By taking to Jnana Yoga, Vedanta Vichara, advanced seekers. Through Vedanta Vichara, they seek Arupa Ishvara. But then there are some people who feel they are not ready for that. Therefore, what do they do? Vishwato Mukham Upasate. Vishwato Mukham means Aneka Rupa Ishvara. Everywhere you see is Ishvara only. Bird is Ishvara, animal is Ishvara, tree is Ishvara, grass is Ishvara, electricity pole is Ishvara, Lord with multifarious forms, considering all forms are Lord's forms. Om Sahasrasirsha Purusha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Purusha Suktam. Sahasram literally means 1,000. But here we should interpret Sahasram as countless. Ishvara has got countless heads, countless eyes. Every living being, non-living being is Ishvara alone. Mahanyasam. Vishwato chakshur utha. Vishwato mukho. Vishwato hastaha. Every hand is Ishvara's hand. Every mouth is Ishvara's mouth. Every pair of eyes is Ishvara's eyes. Lord has faces everywhere. So some people, Krishna says, worship in that form. They have already graduated from Ekarupa Ishvara to Anekarupa Ishvara. But now there will be a doubt. Okay, I know that every form is a form of God. But I cannot put all the forms in the universe on the altar at home or even in a temple of worship. So how do I worship? In fact, Swami Paramarthananda ji gives a very beautiful explanation. He says, if there is one form which includes all the forms, it has to be either spherical form or an elliptical form, which contains all the forms. You know, we get a type of a modeling clay. I mean, childhood and all, you say, even today, I think you get it rather. It's called some play dough or something like that, you know, for children to play with. They make different shapes. You can mold several forms from that. And when you join all of them, you get a lump. A lump means what? Spherical form. Or a cylindrical form also it could be. And that's why we have got, for a Vishnu Bhakta, the Saligrama. Shiva Bhakta, Shivalinga is there, which have got almost a spherical shape or a cylindrical shape, indicating that all forms are included in that. So when you are looking
It is elliptical.
Sorry?
It is elliptical shape.
Elliptical, exactly. Shivalinga is elliptical, even Saligrama is elliptical. So within that, all shapes can contain. Circle is there. You can the square, rectangle, all shapes are all there in that elliptical form. You can actually visualize them. You can actually take an ellipse and then draw all the other forms within that. Hexagon, pentagon, everything you can do within that. And what is the beauty? Even the Bhugola, the earth is elliptical. So when you are actually meditating, if you understand that the earth itself contains only Ishvara, all forms are contained on that, then Ekarupa Bhakti will give way to Anekarupa Bhakti. It will give way to one cosmic form of Lord, Vishwarupa form of Lord, in which all forms are included. And again, 11th chapter, Krishna will talk about this Vishwarupa. So, if a person remains in that and he assimilates that Vishwarupa Ishvara, Virat Ishvara, then he appreciates the Lord as Aneka Rupa Ishvara. Then, as he grows in his maturity, when he is exposed to the scriptures like Upanishads, Gita, etc., he moves to Arupa Ishvara, the formless principle, which is the culmination. And there cannot be anything beyond that. And therefore, our journey, spiritual journey, is what? Ekarupa to Anekarupa to Arupa. In Ekarupa, you are a Dvaitin, where the Lord and you are clearly distinct. In Anekarupa Bhakti, you are a Visishta Advaitin, because the Lord is in all forms, and your form is also included in that. I am not different from God, but I am not God. I am a part of God. Visishta Advaitam. So when you come to Aneka Rupa Bhakti, you have actually graduated from Dvaitam to Visishta Dvaitam. And then when you go to Arupam, there is not even a question of part, whole. Advayam, it is one indivisible totality where there is no difference between me and God. Arupa Ishvara, when you come, you have come to Advaitam. Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtam Manyante Sa Atma Sa Vigyeya, Mandukya Upanishad. And that is the end. But then there is one small problem. It is very easy to understand Ekarupa Bhakti. We have got Bhagavatam, Mahabharatam, Ramayanam, so many Puranas, Skanda Purana, everything, Ekarupa Bhakti, they all promote. There is one Bhagavan with distinct form. It could be Lord Kartikeya. It could be Devi. So, and that is easy to understand. But then when you come to Aneka Rupa Bhakti, you find you have a difficulty. So always our attempt is, see, Aneka Rupa Bhakti and all is okay, but I cannot sit in my puja room and start, I cannot have a tree, everything in my puja room. I can't have animals and all. I need to have some Bhagavan, some isolated God who is located in one place, who has got a precise form, which is distinct from all other forms. Like these Hare Krishna people, Actually, the Nama we say is Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That is how normally we chant, because Rama came before Krishna. Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. But this Hare Krishna people, they don't accept Rama's name as the first one. So they say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and then they say Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there's an obsession with that personal God, that single Nama Rupa, Eka Nama Rupa God is so much. They do not even approve of Rama as the first Nama, even though Rama and Krishna are only two avatars or manifestations of Vishnu, and Rama avatara precedes Krishna avatara. But they are obsessed with Krishna because why? We have a vast literature like Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, all talking about glories of Krishna. So there is a large volume of advertisement for Krishna. But Rama, we have got only one Valmiki Ramayana and so many other Ramayanas based on that Valmiki Ramayana only. Krishna, I mean, they're a colorful character. So people are attracted towards. In fact, there is an interesting anecdote about Swami Chinmayananda, which I have heard. As you know, Pujya Guruji used to give Gita Jnana Yajna. He propagated talk on Gita. Then he started an ashram in Mumbai, in Powai. And in the ashram, the main deity was Shiva. I've been to that Shiva temple. They have daily morning puja.
Jaganeshwara temple.
Yes. And I have heard, of course, I don't know how far it is true. It seems that these Hare Krishna people were criticizing Swami Chinmayananda, saying that Pujya Guruji got all the money by talking about Krishna. He has earned in the name of Krishna. He became famous because of Krishna, and in the end, he built a Shiva temple. And they say Krishna will punish him. This is the extent of obsession people could have. Of course, as I said, disclaimer, I only heard this story. I'm not very sure. I think even Swami Paramatmananda mentions this anecdote in his talks. But this is the extent of obsession with Eka Rupa Bhakti can be there. So they are so much specific about that particular form that they do not approve other forms also. But here in the Gita, Krishna says it does not matter. It does not matter to begin with. You take any one form, any few form, doesn't matter. But sooner or later, we should be able to get over such fanaticism. And therefore, first he said Ekatvena, then he said Prataktvena. Ekarupa worship, Vishwarupa worship, Arupa worship. Through all these, people seek me. Ekatvena, Prataktvena, Bahuda Mam Upasate, he says. So he says that a devotee goes through all these three stages. Krishna continues. Aham kraturaham yajnaha swadaham aushadham mantroham ahame vajyam aham magniraham hutam. So aham, the anvaya is aham eva kratuhu, aham yajnaha, aham swadha, aham aushadham, aham mantraha, aham ajyam, aham agnihi, aham hutam. What are you, Krishna? I am this, all this, my dear, he says. Don't think I am that Krishna that who was dancing with gopis. That was okay. That is one form of mine. But now I am coming to Aneka Rupa. Aham eva kratuhu. I alone am the ritual prescribed by the Shruti, by the Vedas. Aham yajnaha. I am the ritual prescribed by Smriti. Aham swadha. I am the food offered to the ancestors. Aham aushadam. I am all vegetable food and medicinal herbs of all living beings. Aham mantra. I am the mantra or chant with which oblation is offered. Aham ajyam. I am the ghee, or you can extend the meaning to articles of oblation, whatever we offer. Aham agnihi. I am the fire into which the offering is poured. Aham hutam. I am the action of offering the oblation. So I alone am the ritual prescribed by the Shruti. I am the ritual prescribed by the Smriti. I am the food offered to the ancestors. I am the food of all living beings. I am mantra. I am fire. I am the ghee, oblations. I am the action of offering. So Krishna says this is how you must develop your attitude towards Aneka Rupa Ishwara. Everything that you do, you see, you experience, learn to see Ishwara in that. In fact, earlier also, one mantra we saw, Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi, that mantra we saw. So, what happens is, generally, the students who come to Vedanta, some people may be studying Vedanta for a very long time. In fact, they will all be eligible for even Brahma Sutra, which is the PhD level of Vedanta. But generally what happens is, the students are classified into 3 grades based on the type of Ishvara that the student appreciates. If it is Ekarupa, he is the Manda Adhikari, the LKG, UKG, that grade. That is necessary. I mean, it is not a downgrade or anything. Beginning stage. Aneka Rupa, he has come to Madhyama Adhikari, in between. And then if it is Arupa Ishvara, he appreciates, he is Uttama Adhikari. So the spiritual journey is from Mandha to Madhyama to Uttama. And now Krishna assumes that most of the Gita students here, even though we may not be in the Uttama Adhikari bracket, we are all Madhyama Adhikari. Krishna does not assume Manda category at all. Because after coming to 9th chapter, I must surely we must be able to appreciate these concepts of what is bhakti, what is God, etc. So he assumes that Arjuna and also others like us are bhaktas. We are all Madhyama Adhikari. We belong to Madhyama category. They have learned to appreciate God in any particular form. And that is why we are willing to worship any deity. And it is with this purpose in mind that Shankaracharya did Shanmata Stapanam, establishment of 6 forms of worship. He did this only to remove the idea of superiority of one deity to another. Whether Shiva is greater, Vishnu is greater. Shankaracharya says never compare. This is superior or that is superior. Whichever one is attracted to, whichever you are attracted to, you can have as your Ishta Devata. But never look down upon other Devatas. So this is the beginning stage of Aneka Rupa Bhakti. You are looking at all the Devatas with the same attitude. So first stage of it was Aneka Rupa Bhakti also has got stages. And since in Eka Rupa Bhakti, we are all so much, I would say that, practiced looking at Bhagavan or visualizing Bhagavan in a human form. So Krishna says, no problem. Move away from that one form to different forms of Bhagavan. Krishna, Rama, Venkatachalapati, Ayyappa, so many are there, Murugan, Ganapathy. Take all of them. Equally, consider all of them to be equal. And that is why, the Panchayatana Puja, Shankaracharya, he introduced. Beautiful puja. It's in fact, every Grihastha is supposed to do that puja every day. Of course, we don't do any of them. Six devatas are worshipped, including sun. Shivan, Vishnu, we got a Shivalinga, we have got this Saligrama, then Devi. All are not, they're all, I would put it symbolic, like we have got a Saligrama and this thing, and Devi also, there is a specific stone which you get it in some river or something, that is representative of Devi. Then Spatikam is representative of sun. So similarly, this puja is done. There is a very elaborate puja vidhi Adi Shankaracharya has prescribed. So what, according to him, every Grihastha should morning Sandhya Vandanam and then Agnihotram, Panchayatana Puja. All that one is supposed to do. But these days, it's not only that we don't have inclination, we don't have time also. So forget it. Anyway, coming back to the sloka, Krishna wants to explain or elaborate the Vishwarupa Bhakti in these verses, 16 to 19. 4 verses is the Vishwarupa Ishwara Varnanam. Even though Ekarupa and Arupa Bhakti are there, but Krishna chooses to elaborate the middle one, the Vishwarupa Bhakti. And what is the Vishwarupa Bhakti? As I said, learning to look at everything in the creation as the manifestation of the Lord. Everything. There is Ishvara alone in the creation. But then we might have a slight difficulty. Initially, we take only those things which are beautiful, which are respectable, which are valuable in creation. Isn't it? Beautiful flowers. So those things we take and we learn to seek them as God. See them as God rather. When we look at a cockroach or scorpion or mosquitoes, We can't even relate that they are also God, isn't it? And if you say cockroach is God, you will start hating God in fact. So initially, we do not take the dvesha vishaya. We take raga vishaya, anything respectable, acceptable. And that is why we start with Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam. Start looking at the parents themselves as expression of God. Next, you go to school. Therefore, Guru. And all are Devam. All the, the cosmic forces, they are Devam. The Devatas, Varna Devata, Agni Devata, Indra Devata. All those Devatas, you start appreciating them as God. Then you go to one more level. Cow, sacred cow. We start worshipping the cow. And the cow has got so much role to play in those days. Even today also, many places, cow is highly respected. Even the Constitution of India prohibits cow slaughter. So all these useful things, these beautiful things, we take it as, which are respectable, we take it as God. And since rituals were predominant in those days, everything connected with the rituals were also very sacred. In fact, the life of most people, irrespective of which varna they belonged, revolved around karma kanda. People were soaked in rituals. Krishna takes those things connected with the rituals and says all of them are me. And therefore learn to look at them as God. All these, as I said, are all part of Vishwarupa Varnana. So Krishna is slowly sowing the seed for the 11th chapter. Gradually, he will expand the topic in the 9th chapter, then 10th chapter, then climax will be the Vishwarupa Darshanam, 11th chapter. So these are all what we call, in today's the entertainment business, teasers. In our days, we used to call them trailers, but now they have got a new nomenclature for everything. So they call it teasers. So Krishna is slowly leading us towards that climax of the 11th chapter. So he starts by saying, Aham Kratuhu. Kratuhu means Shrauta Karma, which means rituals and prayers prescribed in the Shruti. Shrauta Karma is prescribed in the Shruti by the Vedas, which are the original scriptures. Krishna says, I am those very rituals. Normally we say we worship God through the rituals, but here Krishna is turning that idea on its head. He says, okay, till now you have felt you worship God through rituals, but now you understand. Learn to look at the rituals themselves as God. Aham eva kratuhu, I alone am the rituals. I am the very embodiment of the Shrauta karmas, the karmas ordained in the Vedas. Then aham yajnaha. Yajnaha means smarta karmas. Smarta karmas means rituals and prayers prescribed in the secondary scriptures like Smriti Granthas. They are called secondary scriptures because they draw substance from the Vedas. Veda is the original scripture, primary one, got its own validity. Whereas these secondary scriptures, which are actually man-made scriptures, Vedas are God-made scriptures, right? God-given scriptures. But Smriti Granthas are man-made scriptures. They don't have validity of their own. Their validity is based on Vedas. So Smritis, Itihasas, Puranas, all are secondary scriptures with borrowed sanctity from the Vedas. Even Bhagavad Gita is sacrosanct not because of itself or because it is the teaching of Lord Krishna. According to our tradition, Gita is sacred because it follows the Vedic teaching. And that is why Krishna says, Arjuna, you should accept the Gita, not because I say. You accept the Gita because it is based on Vedic teaching tradition. So in our tradition, Veda is even superior to God, as it were, or at least as sacred as God. Because God himself we come to know through the Vedas only. The Vedas are revealers of God. And therefore, smarta karmas means rituals based on the secondary scriptural literature. All the Puranic functions, in fact, many of our festivals, Diwali, Pongal, they are all based on Puranic incidents. It is not Vedic, it is Purana. In that only, we get Narakasuran, Satyabhama, etc. All are there. But still it is sacred because Puranas are originally based on Vedas. So, Aham Yajnaha. Then he says, Aham Swadha. Swadha is the offering given to the forefathers or ancestors. Pitri Shraddha Samaye Diyamana. It is called Swadha because when the Pitri rituals are done, ancestral rites are done, they give oblations or offerings using the word Swadha. When we give oblations to devatas, it is called Swaha. And when we give oblations to Pitris, it is called Swadha. Therefore, Swadha refers to offering given to the ancestors. And Krishna says, I am that also. So, Swadha means what? Tarpanam, offering pinda, food, etc. to the forefathers. Then, Aham Aushadam. Aushadam means food eaten by human beings is called Aushadam. The food is called Aushadam because it is derived from Oshadhi. Oshadhi means plant kingdom. Aushadam means that which is born out of Oshadhi. A plant product is called Aushadam. In those days, medicines were also called Aushadam because they were all what? Plant and herbal products. Ayurveda is fully based on that only. Not synthetic chemicals like today. In fact, for those who know Tamil, there is an interesting joke. Of course, for others, I will translate in English, but then it will not have the same charm as in Tamil. Anyway, here is the joke. Of course, some of you might have heard this. And this is only a joke and means no offense to the noble profession of medicine. All disclaimers I am putting first. In Tamil, there is a saying, normally we hear, Ayiram Pere Kondravan Arai Vaidyan. Ayiram Pere Kondravan means the one who has killed 1,000 people is Arai Vaidyan, means qualified to be half doctor. When in Ayurveda, a doctor is called a Vaidya. So you can draw the corollary. For being qualified as a full doctor, how many people have to be killed? Isn't it? And the original saying is not a joke, but an indication of the qualification of the medicinal professional in those days. The original saying is, Ayiram Verai Kandavan Arai Vaidyan. Veru means root. plant root or herbal root. So one who has seen 1000 herbal roots is qualified to be half a doctor. That means even after studying 1000 herbal roots, one cannot call himself a full-fledged doctor. For that, he or she has to study a lot more. So the words Ayiram Verai Kandavan, due to passage of time, has got mutilated into Ayiram Perai Kondravan, which is similar sounding, because it is a joke. Anyway, this is an aside remark. So in those days and even today in Ayurveda, all medicines are root-based and herbal-based, and therefore medicine is also called Aushadham. And food that we consume is also called Aushadham. I'll continue in the next class. The time is up. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavad everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
ధన్యవాదాలు
Guruji. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Hari Om Guruji, how was your trip?
ధన్యవాదాలు గురుజీ
Trip was good, little hectic. Then 4 days in Bali and 3 days in Singapore.
Oh,
So it was little tiresome. That is why, even though I returned, I think we returned on Saturday night.
okay.
I did not have class on Monday because I felt that, if I'm not well, then I should give myself some rest. Which was helpful, in fact.
Okay.
Plus, of course,
నమస్తే గురుజీ
family is here, so that also was there. But I had made all my notes, everything before going, so there was no fully prepared for today's class and also Monday's class.
God bless. Good.
So that is way, no problem.
Thank you,
Bali is a
Guruji.
nice place, very
Namaste.
good place. Singapore, of course, expensive, but for kids they enjoyed Singapore also. So anyway, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Guruji, just one comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Aneka Rupa Darshanam or Vishwarupa Darshanam is built in our culture through festivals itself. Festival.
Yes, yes.
Like Ganesh Chaturthi, Durgashtami, Lakshmi Pujan, Shivaratri, Guru Purnima, Pitru Paksha, all.
Everything.
and so
Not
on.
only that.
Hmm.
I tell you one more thing.
Hmm.
Temple are constructed with what? Stone.
Huh.
When you enter a temple, what do? You actually touch the
Yeah.
step and
Yes,
consider
yes.
that step as God.
Yeah. So
Right?
that also we
Then we
worship.
do puja with flowers,
Flowers and leaves also.
leaves.
also. Yeah.
So we learn to look at leaves as God.
Yeah.
Then every god has got a Vahana. Ganapathy has got Mushika. Then
Yes.
Tantra is there for Durga. All
Yes.
that. So we start association with God. We start looking at them also as God.
Yes. Chara and
Even
Acharya.
crow, we
Yes.
revere because we associate
We
crow
are not
with
left pro also.
Chris.
Yeah.
So you see, that is a beautiful, this
Beautiful.
culture,
Yes. Correct, sir.
beautiful culture.
Yeah,
You will
Guruji,
never
correct.
find
Yes.
a equivalent anywhere.
Yes.
It's a beautiful
Water, milk, ghee,
Yeah.
everything.
That also.
When you are pouring all
Wood.
that,
Chara and
abhishekam,
Acharya, everything. Yeah.
everything.
Correct.
So that is what is actually, without realizing that we are actually doing Aneka Rupa Ishwara Bhakti,
True.
we
Yeah,
keep
we
doing
do
it,
that.
but then we have to be told, oh, this is what is
Yes.
Aneka Rupa Bhakti. You have
Yes.
reached from Eka Rupa Bhakti to Aneka Rupa Bhakti stage. Congratulations, you have passed one level.
Yeah.
Like that, Kaun Banega Karodpati, different stages. Like that, ye padhao aapne pass kar liya tha, something like that.
Yes.
So that is what it is.
Yes.
If we understand all this, then we are actually progressing very fast on the spiritual path.
Yes.
That is,
Guruji, this Arupa Bhakti we will be dwelling upon again in detail.
we will come. The third, this Shatkam
Hmm.
from what is that? 13 to 18
Hmm.
will be Arupa Bhakti only.
Okay, Guruji. Thank
15th chapter, especially
Hmm.
Purusha, we'll talk about only Purusha.
you. Okay, Guruji. Thank you.
Arupa Bhakti is what we are studying in Mundago Upanishad also, isn't it? It goes, along with that subject matter, the syllabus covers all that.
Okay.
Culmination is Arupa Bhakti.
Acha.
But when you reach Arupa Bhakti also, one thing we must remember, that does not mean that we say, oh, these are all inferior, so I will not do it. No.
Yeah. Then we have to follow.
Yes, that also continues to be God.
Yes,
Just
yes,
because
yes.
you have reached formless,
Yes.
the form does not stop existing to be Bhagavan, isn't
Yes.
it? So that is how it is. Rather.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
good.
Yeah.
Yes, Lataji.
Namaskar, Guruji. Namaste, Pranam. It is nice that when Krishna starts speaking to Arjuna in the second chapter, that appears the most difficult part to understand. But with every chapter, it's getting more and more lucid. The explanation, a bit more you understand. With every chapter, with every shloka, you understand a bit more. That's something nice, Guruji. And I also wanted to humbly share about this Hare Krishna mantra of ISKCON temple. In Bangalore, my place where I used to live is very close to the ISKCON temple there. And the moment you step in there, I'm sure all of us have experienced that the Hare Krishna mantra is being is being played continuously there. So I had the opportunity to speak to one of the Swamijis there, why it is like this and why not the original way. So he said that I'm not sure which era that was, which year, which century that was. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his brother, that's Gauranga and Nitai were their original names. They wanted to uplift the even common man by making them chant Hare Rama, Hare Krishna mantra. But then the religious people opposed it, that only Brahmins, only higher strata of people can chant that. You cannot teach that to anybody and everybody. And so that's you're going against the dharma, and then you cannot do that. There was strong opposition. Then they said, okay, we'll change it like this. We'll change it to Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So that's not in any scripture that it should be taught only to Brahmins. So just so that they could teach the God's name and teach everyone to chant God's name. So they changed, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his brother, they changed it from the original Hare Krishna mantra to this, and then they taught the mantra to a lot of people, and then they uplifted a lot of people, even the so-called lowest of the lowest. And that's when this started, where the Hare Krishna mantra comes first, Hare Krishna line comes first. That was the senior Swamiji explained. Otherwise, according to the real thing, it should be Hare Rama, Hare Rama. But then because of the opposition that took place, they changed it. And also it's only in Krishna Avatara, Krishna says actually that I'm everything, and then I'm God, and I'm the creator, and so that's how they focus mainly on Krishna, and then Krishnahood, and then that's how they teach, which was of course propagated by Mahaprabhu, Bhagavad Pada, one who started this. This is what I learned, and this is what I wanted to share, Guruji.
That's fine. But of course, it's not very convincing because Rama also is equally a well-known God all over India.
No, but then no, this was from that era when they were teaching, they wanted to teach it to people. There was a lot of opposition, like in those days it used to be there. Even now there are oppositions by people when you want to do something slightly different. So this is what the Swamiji shared with me. That's what I shared. That's all.
Okay, I accept it, hear it.
Yeah.
But what the point here is that it is nothing wrong with that. It's a Ekarupa Ishvara Bhakti.
Yes.
They have not even graduated to Aneka Rupa because for them Krishna is the be all and end all, They don't even recognize other Bhagavans or other deities and all. You go to their temples, only Krishna is there. They will-
No, that's like for a common man. That's what even I thought for a long time, Guruji. But then because the ISKCON temple is close to the house, and as I keep visiting, and then we keep coming across all these. They call them as I don't know. They don't call them as Swamiji. They call them something else. So they every now and then they have havans, and then they have all kinds of yajnas with different deities in mind. The other day there was something that was coming where the puja of Narsimha was being done in ISKCON temple itself, where I visit. There is Balaji as well as Narsimha. That's also there. Of course, the main deity is Krishna, Balarama, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his brother. But then in the same premises, there's Balaji temple as well as Narsimha temple, where the morning worship takes place at 4:30 in the morning, 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning. And that is very beautiful to watch that. Guruji.
That's there.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Otherwise, we can close the session and meet on next week.
Thank you, Guruji.
Guruji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you all very
Thank you,
much.
Guruji.
You
Hari Om Guruji. Thank you. Good night.
good night.